Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Welcome. Woo! It's almost popping. We're here. We are here. Welcome, everybody. Welcome. The crowd always goes crazy here at Saturday Night Raw. But they go a little crazier when they know Daniel Bel is in the building. Am I right? Yep. That's what I'm talking about. I'm ready to take out my piano, man. Awesome. I want to get ahead and first and foremost welcome everybody, all the SMC squad, all the viewers, everybody out there, the family. You already know we treat everybody, all our people, everybody that watches and follows us, and we treat you guys as family. That's the way it's supposed to be. Y'all, our brothers, our sisters out there, and man, we appreciate y'all all the time for coming through and hanging out with us. Today we got an amazing show, a great show. It's been a while, but we got today a very when it comes to statues and for collectors and all different genres, especially just statue collecting and sculpting, and a person that has made a big impact in the statue community all over the world. This is a person that we all at one way or another from before to now have owned a piece from this man right here. People still own pieces. You look behind Crippler, got one of the best stores, quarter scale stores ever made. I was about to shut down the internet and bring out all the premium formats for Daniel Bel and put them on the kitchen table and just say, hey, big fan here. But making the tripleta sandwiches and the arroz con gandules and the pernil and the food truck, I had no time to do it.
I ain't even eat dinner yet. You talk
but it's
about
all good
stuff.
But yeah, man, with enough being said, I want to get ahead and thank and welcome one of the number one sculptors in the world. One of the, to me, I'll say artists, because I follow art. I just love the man's art and his commitment to what he does with these statues, with the forms of bodies and sculpting musculage and just everything. The dynamics of these statues is phenomenal. So I would like to thank and welcome one of Sideshow's greats. One of Sideshow's greats, Mr. Daniel Bel. Thank you. Wow. That's more than needed for this man right here. This is a great guy, Daniel Bel. Thank you for coming on the show today. I appreciate you for that. We all appreciate you for that. We're gonna make this a great show today. We're gonna talk about some things, and my guys in the panel. We got a couple of other guys that's gonna be joining us soon. We're gonna ask the questions that people want asked. We're gonna be doing all of that. I would just like to mention real quick to everybody out there in the community, all our followers, the whole SMC squad and everything. Out of due to respect for Sideshow, let's keep the questions to Daniel Bel respectively on site and being in Sideshow. So any pieces that he has done in Sideshow, everything that he's created, which are many masterpieces, let's keep the questions to that, and everything else you would like to ask him. Just stay away from everything else, okay? So let's be respectful about that. And so Daniel, how you doing, my brother? ¿Cómo está?
I'm doing great, mate. Thank you. What an introduction. Thank you so much. Thank you so much.
Well deserved.
Thanks, man. How are you doing, guys? Are good?
Good, man.
Good.
Happy to
Good, man.
get the time
Good
to
to
chat with you for a bit.
Thanks, man.
Where are you coming live from?
What's up? Sorry.
You in Colombia?
No, I'm in Argentina.
Argentina, right?
Yeah, I'm still living here. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah,
That
yeah,
was
yeah,
cool.
yeah.
So let's go ahead and get right to it.
Good.
So
Let's do it.
I know that last time we spoke, things has changed for you in Sideshow.
Yeah.
You've become more of a prominent person in Sideshow as a position,
Mm-hmm.
not only sculpting.
Yeah.
Can you elaborate about that a little?
Sure, sure. I've been working at Sideshow. I think I've been working there for more than 6 years, and I started like as a sculptor, as let's say regular sculptor, and then with the years and with all the experience I got there, working with my colleagues, friends, and other uh, amazing artists. I think I've learned enough to get a little bit more responsibility and start helping Saishu in other tasks like directing and giving my perspective in other projects, not only mine, and offering my help and guidance to other artists if they need it, reviewing different statues and trying to, let's say, make them not just me, other art directors as well, like Martin Canali and Richard Long and Ian, um, and other friends. We are just trying to help to make the things better in a way more consistent, let's say, in terms of artistically talking, and is I enjoying that so much. Not just working on my project, sculpting my own things, but having this amazing team full of wonderful artists, all kind, concept artists, 2D artists, 3D artists, sculptors, and painters. And I think the last couple of years I've been doing more. Let's say I'm putting more focus on make better statues than before, with more time, investing way more time than before. That of course costs that I'm doing a little bit less per year, but I'm investing more time, so the quality is a little bit higher than before. Which I don't know if you're going to see the difference, but I'm seeing the difference, and I'm pretty happy about the results. Most of these pieces didn't come out yet. You're going to see it pretty soon. There are many I've been working that you haven't seen here yet. But I don't know, man. I'm really happy with all the sculpts I've done and the things I'm doing, the new challenges I'm taking. So far it's been a great journey.
Absolutely, man. I mean, everything that you've done so far up to date has been it's been great. It's been great. You got some great pieces that's come out, great announcements that's come out, all kind of stuff. Now, in the future, I know we can't speak about what's coming and what's coming out or anything like that. Of course, nobody will be able to do that. We know we love surprises. But question that can be asked, if it can be asked, can we as collectors, many collectors are looking to not only from Sideshow or anything, but I'll say this real quick. Sideshow has been releasing some pieces that not only have people have been waiting for to get released, but they nailing the design. They've been nailing it. They did it with I feel that the Joker you made is a great Joker. This really is a really cool Joker. I love it. The Poison Ivy that everybody went crazy over because they put a low ES on it. I want to speak about that later on today after my guys hit up their questions and stuff like that with you.
Sure.
And also, like the Carnage, your Carnage, and just quite a few pieces that's come out. And then with the announcement of Penguin, the quarter scale Penguin. Now, not only was it something that everybody's been wanting, everybody's been asking for, but y'all did a hell of a job with that penguin. It's
Yeah.
not like the thing. It's not like a penguin. Like, oh, they released it. It's nice. Everybody was waiting. No, this is a great looking penguin.
Mm-hmm.
Everything about it looks great. The base, the way it looks like he's on top of
Water.
the rocks and that, and then there's a water looking in the bottom, but with the effect,
Yeah.
it was phenomenal. One of my top questions to you, if it could be answered,
Sure.
can collectors out there, people that's been already like jumping aboard Sideshow again, because there's been a lack of it. There's
Mhm.
been a lack of it for a while, but everybody's starting to come back.
Sure.
And I understand and see why.
Yeah.
Is there anything that, as a collector, and my guys and everybody out there would like to know? There's the questions a lot of the people has been asking.
Mhm.
Can we expect that direction?
Mhm.
Besides other directions, but can we expect that direction as a new characters that haven't been made yet? Can we expect something like that?
Well, every single time that we face a new project, we talk about, okay, we can make this project or that project or this character. We are trying to design in a different way, in a more fresh way. Sometimes you don't know how what kind of impact is going to have, if it's going to be a good one or a bad one, because it's a matter of taste, and all the collectors have different taste. I think the penguin is a great example in where we didn't do the classic portrait, the classic shapes or whatever. It is a little bit more, I don't know, nasty volumes with, it's a little bit repulsive, let's say, in a good way talking, like all those volumes. Maria, the artist who worked on that statue, really nailed it. She killed, and Rich alone was in charge of the concept. And I think is sometimes we have to take risks and see what happened. And it is hard, for at least to me, because every single time that I'm working in a new project, I try to see all the things I've done and all the statues that is in the market, and try to say, okay, what kind of things I can do to make it look different, but not too different from the collectors are looking for, Okay. And because sometimes if you go too far, maybe some people will like it, some people will not understand what you try to do, and some people will love it, and there is no average there. And sometimes these projects coming from nowhere, like the penguin, everybody likes it because it's different from everything you have seen. But you don't know, it is, you put all the effort you have, all the effort, all your ingredients, that could cause a successful piece. But it's like a movie, when a director start making a movie, they want to make a success, and they put everything. They put money, they put good actors, they put a good script, but you don't know if the people will like it, because our tastes are changing, are evolving every single time, every single year is different. What the things I loved, 5 years ago are not the same things I love now, and I don't know what things I will like to collect or to buy in a couple, years from now. So, if you take into account the time, if today I started a project, you're going to see it in 2 years from now. And in 2 years, a lot of things could happen, A new movie could be released, a new video game, a TV show, whatever, that make that product looks, that people want it or people hate it, because right. We didn't go well. Or in the case of like this project, the penguin, it is a home run. It is great. Let's do it again. But it doesn't matter that if we take the same direction with all the characters, it will work. It's not like that. It doesn't work to have the same, recipe and repeat it like 1, 2, 3 times, because people will get used to that and they say, again, the same kind of, Batman or Penguin or whatever. It is so hard when you're talking about art. It is so hard to know if that is going to be a success. It is for me when I'm sculpting something, I'm putting all my effort every single time. Every single hour, every single stroke. And if I have to redo and take an extra week or 2 weeks more or a month to redo something that I'm not 100% sure, I take it. We do it, But even that, you don't know if the people will like it. And we all put our 100% effort on it. So it's I think we can learn from the success, but we have to learn from some mistakes we could make. And even with all that information, it's not math, it's not something like a 2 + 2. It is something you have to see how people react and what people like at that time that is released.
That's awesome. All right, guys. Hey, what's up, Rashid? Mr. Vice President just joined us.
Man,
welcome, my brother. Hey, so everybody on the panel, on the chat, hold your questions so that when we go ahead and ask you guys to ask Daniel his questions, your questions won't be missed. All right, so because if you're doing your questions now, it's just gonna keep scrolling up and we're just gonna pass it. So I'll announce when we're gonna have questions for Daniel, and then we'll get to the panel. We'll find out some questions. I'll get back to mine, but I want to give my panel their chance to ask their questions, because I'm sure they have some great questions as well. So Crippler, we'll start with you.
Cool. When you're doing a scope, what is the feedback process like? When is it? Does it like focus group internally? Do you source from the community, bring people in? At that point, is there ever a point where, like, when is it too late to get feedback? Because with Sideshow, you see it and it's pretty much ready to go. Like, so we would like to know, like, before that, how does it get to the point where you guys are ready and happy and confident that this is what you want to show as the teaser? And at that point, is it too late to get feedback from anywhere else? I'm sorry. Thailand invades us once in a while, but there they go.
Just welcome my brother Art Statue Collector from over the oceans.
Nice view. Good question. When you work in a big company, what you can do with the community is a little bit complicated than if you work with a small company or a small group of people, because I can show you, let's say, for example, I am a small company and I'm not sure about the work I'm doing, right? So I want the feedback from the community. The community says, oh, that looks awesome. Okay, let's produce it, right? You talk with the license or whatever the process you have. We can't do that because our times are way longer than that. So when you see a statue, that statue has been produced a year and a half ago, So it is, we trust in our team, in our decisions. Those decisions are based on the, I don't know, sometimes in the success we had or in the pieces that didn't go too good, and say, okay, if people didn't like that, I will not going to repeat that. Whatever it is, it could be a detail, I don't know, a type of face or type of body type or whatever. And of course, if we know that people like something, we are going to repeat it. But again, it's not a formula. It's going to work forever, So you can see some of the companies or people that show something, and then people say, I don't know, that head is a little bit, I don't know, too big or too small. Okay, guys, let's shrink it down. You have the time. Then you produce. Well, it's not our case, unfortunately, and that's something for good. It has its pros and cons, but we have been doing this for more than 25 years. I mean, Sideshow, it has a lot of story in his shoulders, and I think we know how to deal internally with the feedback. And we hear as an artist, an artist is really hard to get feedback because sometimes it's a little bit late, and you need to understand that if it's something they have to change, you have to change it, no matter
Yeah.
how hours did it did it take to you, if that that face is looking weird, those eyes looking weird, the pose or whatever, we have to change it. And but it is I mean, when I'm working on something, I do a sketch, I show that sketch, we have a focus team group, as you mentioned it, and then we discuss that. If everyone is agreed and it is good for everyone, I continue working on it. I refine it, I polish it, I do texture. Another stage that I post in images all the time, or videos, or whatever, 360, or we have meetings in where I share my screen. And it's not just my process. It is a natural process we all have there. And so every single time, there is not just one guy who is just seeing that. No, it is a group of people, the expert, let's say, who are very good in their own thing, who throw ideas and feedback, and we play with that until you see the final result.
So like, you'll mix up, like probably have some lead painters in there and lead sort of sculptors, concept, and then trying to make sure. It's very similar, like a video games, you have a playtest lab, and you got to go.
Yeah.
You work on you send it to the playtest lab and be like, blah, 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 blah. But it's all done internally, right? It doesn't get to the community until like a beta or something like that where...
Yeah, unfortunately, we can't do that because you have license, you have to respect some rules and the times, and we can't do that, unfortunately. But... even the photos you see, the final pictures, those beautiful photos, we have opinion on that. We work with the photographers and say, hey, guys, maybe this is the best angle. So this is, I don't know, an angle that if you put like that, maybe we can have a like this. Even in that stage, we can give send our feedback and have a back and forth, which is a very teamwork in every single part of the process, from the very beginning to the very end.
Cool. No, that's awesome. That internally you got your experts and your people that can actually look at it every step of the way.
Oh yeah.
Give feedback.
Yeah, and not just one.
No, it's always a group of people.
It is it is a group of people, and we do that with most of the projects, and with the concept artists, and even if the concept artists have worked in just at the beginning of the project, I can work with them along the project, so he can give me, because he's an artist, maybe he sees things that I'm not seeing, and the opposite. And sometimes they show me the concepts and they say, hey, maybe we can try this. It's faster in doing it in 2D than in 3D, so we can try. Maybe we have a painter say, hey guys, maybe we can try these kind of materials or these kind of details, whatever, next time, or in this project. It's a fun way to work.
Right?
Yeah, it's a very fun process because nothing it is right on the stone. We can change it in every single moment of if we see that it's not taking a good path. Even sometimes we have to try, and then when you try, you see it's not working. There is sometimes there is no way you can say, oh, okay, I know this is not going to work. Sometimes because it's kind of
you just feeling it. It's like, this is coming out. Look at me, I could kiss myself.
100%. Or sometimes you don't know, and I say, okay, can we try this? Yes, that's true. Let's try, and we invest time. And sometimes we say, oh, that is looking interesting, and sometimes it is it's not going to work, so we read off that. It is a fun process. It's a very dynamic process, and
you having fun.
Oh yeah, 100%.
That's all that matters.
Yeah. It's to me, it's a hobby paid. Let's say, it's something I really enjoy, and I am receiving a payment for that, so I can't complain at all. It's a wonderful work. Yeah, man.
Cool. Thanks for the answer.
Oh man, my pleasure.
Mr. Shane, the Dark Lord.
Daniel, one of my questions for you is, who and or what influenced you to want to be a sculptor?
Oh man, that was interesting. I think it was very it was like an accident. I was doing a lot of other things. I'm a digital artist, so I've been working for many years in other fields like advertising and architecture, video games. And I didn't at that time. I wasn't aware that I could be a sculptor because I don't know how to draw. I don't draw. Even now, I don't.
Wow.
I can't do a paint or drawing like a so simple figurine. I think even my daughter, she's
Crazy.
7 and she draws better than me. And so I thought that I will never be able to sculpt because some people told me at that time that if you don't draw, you can't sculpt. So one day I just try with clay, in a place in Argentina, here in my country, in Buenos Aires. It was a guy who was giving classes of clay sculpting. It was plasticing a little bit harder. It's like at the school plasticing you have the kids use.
Yep.
It wasn't even clay. And I tried that. I enjoyed so much. I found this community of people, nerds like me, that loved movies, that loved comics and video games or whatever. So I found that. And I started trying with this plasticing, trying to do something, I don't know, a face or whatever. Then I don't know, something like I kind of felt like maybe I can do this a little bit more professionally. So I started, studying anatomy, proportions, taking other classes or whatever. And I found out that I can do it. I don't know why. And I started with digital, because I've been working with digital before. So I tried with ZBrush, and I don't know, I found ZBrush a little bit more dynamic in terms of I have big hands, so I wasn't sure that my big hands could make sculpt like tiny details.
Right.
So I tried with ZBrush, and then I found Martin Canale, who is my biggest inspiration and the people who connected me with Sideshow that time, and everything started from like a kind of accident. Then after that accident, I found names like Martin, like Steve Lord, like Mark Newman, like I don't know, Schiffer Brothers, and so many big names, Simon Lee, and a lot of people who is still inspiring me every single day. And I think since I was a kid, I wanted to do something with art, more art related than the things I was doing. And this was like my chance. So I tried, it worked. I started doing some personal portfolio stuff, and then people like it. I posted on, at that time, Facebook and other sites. And I started receiving comments from people like you who collect statues, and I don't know, telling me that, hey, maybe you can do this professionally. And it started from there. And my inspirations are this guy that I mentioned. They, for example, Martin Canale. He's an Argentina guy, actually. He lives in Buenos Aires, and at that time I didn't know that a guy who was so famous in the sculpting community was living in my country. So and speaking my language. And at that time I didn't talk in English. Well, my English now is not very good, but at that time it was zero. So I couldn't communicate with people, in the States or any other country. So it not only helped me to discover this passion for sculpting, it helped me to connect with, the entire world and the companies. It was really interesting moment at that time.
That's awesome.
Thanks, man.
That's pretty dope. Mm-hmm. Vice Pres Rashid, got anything for our boy Daniel Bel? Your mic is off.
Not really. It just, I wanted to say the Dr. Doom that you sculpted. What was your inspiration for doing the Dr. Doom that sculpt that you did?
Dr. Doom was based many sources, but I took inspiration from some dictators, like I don't know, the biggest dictators we had in history, like Mussolini or Hitler or people like that, who was looking the people over their shoulders and with all that kind of I don't know, there's not empathy for people. I think I took inspiration from that, and of course with the help with the team, with the concept guys, we thought that could be great to portray that kind of personality, because he is like that in the comics, and I think it came mostly from that part, from that place.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. What's up, my brother? You got something for Daniel Bel?
Yeah. I just want to know the process of sculpting. How long does one usually take?
Okay. It differs from project to project, but usually now it's taking me more time than ever, like 3-4 months. The beginning was 2 months, 2.5, because I wanted to make it faster. I was younger and I thought that faster was better. Then I realized that it doesn't matter how fast you do. What matters is how much time of quality you invest on that statue, and how much time you give to yourself to redo stuff that you are not 100% sure about it. So it is taking that process usually takes nowadays 3-4 months per statue, and that allows me to have back and forth with the team, and even if the sculpting stage of the sculpting process is pretty common for most artists. It is like you do a 3D sketch. You can start from that 2D concept or not. Maybe you have an idea and a cool idea you want to portray, you want to try, so you do a quick 3D concept in 1 or 2 days. You can also paint it if you want, so you can see it in 3D. You can show it. The people in charge they're going to see it. They want to review it. If everyone is okay with that, you can continue, polishing, adding more details, refine anatomy, whatever. But it depends of the project. For example, if you take Carnage, you previously mentioned it. It wasn't the same process for Carnage that I did for Doctor Doom. It's a different process. For Carnage, I sculpted an entire human anatomy, a kind of human anatomy, and then I break it. I just make it monster. I monsterify it, let's say, for example. And that is a different process that I don't do for other more classic characters. With the armature or with the Flash or whatever, it's different, but it usually takes that amount of time.
Okay. And also, can you tell us what you are working on right now? Is that a secret? No.
Unfortunately, I would love to tell you, but unfortunately, I can't. I can't talk about present or future projects. I'm really, really sorry, man.
Right.
Yeah, no problem, man. Understandable.
Bishop.
But I can assure you that
Bishop.
there are superheroes and villains. That's what I want to say.
More DC or Marvel?
Yeah, DC and Marvel, superheroes and villains. No, more DC and Marvel. I don't know, honestly. It depends. Sometimes it's more Marvel, sometimes it's more DC. I think the latest pieces I did was more. I think it was Bane, Joker, or Batman. Yeah, it was more DC, but I think now I'm having more Marvel time than it's DC time, and I think now it's a kind of balance. I'm doing both.
So usually, do you choose your own character, or Sideshow just basically kind of give you that character to work?
No, we can suggest. We can always suggest what we think or we feel that the community wants. It's like everyone is looking for, I don't know, let's say a Doctor Doom, and
Bishop or Blade.
Tell him sick.
Bishop or Blade.
Can't say anything. Probably. No, any project. Let's say, for example, I love Blade. as you
Right.
say, oh, let's do a play, and maybe I don't know, maybe from the company say, I'm not sure, and you can pitch a concept, and if that concept is so cool that people, even the analytics says, we're not 100% sure, but we want to take the risks. We take the risk. Sometimes it depends on the project, depends on the concept, depends on the idea, or depends on how strong you think that people want that. But no one have the secret or the no one knows what people in terms of. You can say, oh, I have 50 friends and my 50 friends want Blade. Yeah, but your 50 friends are not 1,000 people, who is going to buy it. At the end of the day, this is a product that you have to sell. And it doesn't matter if you have 50 people, because, it doesn't, even if you have 50 friends who love it, you can't be sure that your 50 friends, you're going to buy it. Mm-hmm. So it is really hard. Sometimes I'm 100% sure that people like this character, and I do that character, and then it doesn't sell like I thought it was going to sell.
Mm-hmm.
But it works like a pretty open discussion. Every single time is a very open discussion, and sometimes they know what I like, and they offer me characters like, hey, Daniel, we have this, and maybe you would like to do it. And I look at it and say, oh, yeah, please just book that project. So after I finish this one, I can start that one. And it is pretty open discussion.
Now, staying in that subject, who makes the decision of, let's say, what the character's pose is going to be, or what rendition of the character that's going to be made,
mm-hmm.
Who's in charge of making the decision of, all right, this is the pose that I want you to sculpt, this is what we need, and
mm-hmm.
this is how we want it to be done.
We have a creative chief who is a Tom Gillidan. He has a great view, and sometimes we rely on him when it comes to take decisions. But it's not only him; it is other people as well, But we present different concepts, different ideas, even from the same character. And sometimes, if we feel really strong with this option, it is man, I think this is the best option. And he will say, okay, if you feel strong about it, let's do it. So at least I haven't feel that there is just one final call. It is one people who have the voice and say, okay, you will do it and you will not do it. It is, again, it's an open discussion, and when everyone is strong about an option, we go with that option. I'm talking about the entire team. But of course, you have people, you always would have people on top with the responsibility that they have to take the final, the final yes or no. And it is usually like that. But again, it's I never felt like it was like, oh, I want to do that. No, you can't. Okay. It is okay. Why you want to do that? Okay, because of that, because of this, because of this. Okay, let's show me what you have in mind. So you do the concept, different options. You work with the concept artists if you need it. Even for the concept artists, they could have a strong feeling about something, and they will do some options, and then we see if that something good, really really good, you go with that direction or not.
Crippler.
Yes, sir. I got some questions. How hard would it be for you to use your newfound powers to get a bishop in a line? Do you have the power? Listen to this brilliant man, Sideshow.
Again, it is. It doesn't matter sometimes. Well, sometimes, of course, if these characters are not like characters, like a really important characters that usually that it will sell, it is hard because when you have let's say when you have a lot of people working in a company, a lot of expenses, a lot of things to do, you can't take too many risks, because you can. Unfortunately, you can't. But when you are a small company, you can take all the risks you want because what else? But I think characters like that, like Bishop, if you come with a great concept, a great idea, a great composition, you can pitch it, and they will hear you. And if that project really, really is just really good, what you have in mind, probably you're going to make it.
Because I think Sideshow is really finding their strides right now. Like your Daniel Bel, you are Daniel Bel. Your Dark Knight Return is freaking immaculate. Carnage, immaculate. Like I said, I have your Breaker Brim. That statue, Breaker Brimstone, is my first statue, and that's what got me into collecting. Is that statue right there?
Thank you.
Seeing it, and it was made. And X-Men is my first passion, and I was like, do I get the X-Men line or do I? But look at the Avengers. Look at that, and that piece is the one I said I'll do Avengers first, and then I go X-Men. And it was that, and I got your cap, and I didn't even know your name. I didn't know who you were. It just so happens that the first two statues that I got was Thor, Breaker Brimstone, and Captain America. That's right there in the bottom.
Yeah.
And later I found out they were yours, and then I got Colossus from the X-Men. Like, damn, that's Daniel Bel too, and that's when I discovered, okay, I got a type. If I don't know him, at least I have a type. But then I seen you cheating with that DC. You started doing the Jokers and the Batmans, looking great. And I'm like, when is he getting back to my Marvels? I love DC too, but I was like, man, I'm just like, yo. But yeah, I'm planning on picking up the Carnage. I'm just waiting to see what I want to pair it with and where to display it. But and to be fair, I'm waiting for it to go on sale, and that's the only piece. Sideshow. That's the only piece that don't go on sale when everything else goes on sale.
Well, it's funny. It's funny because that statue Thor was one of my. It was the first time that I pitched an idea to Sideshow. At that time I was hired to do some work. Some statues based on concepts. The first one was Captain America. The second one was Daredevil. And then the third one, I remember that I was there in the offices working there at Sideshow, and I said, I think I have a different idea for Thor, because at the beginning, you feel like I'm feeling small, I'm come from a Latin American country. I'm nobody, I'm playing now. I'm playing in the big leagues and with these monsters around me, the big names. So for my first two projects, I didn't feel like I had that chance to say, hey, I have an idea. But then when I visited for my first time the US, and I went to the office, and I knew that everyone makes me feel like you're a part of this family. You have the same boss. This team. You are this team. So I that encouraged me to say, okay, I have an idea. And I spoke that idea with some friends, with Richard at that time, with all the people, and remember Tom say, okay, pitch that idea. I did it. They like it. They produced it. They made some change. I remember it was again, every single project is a very teamwork. But at that time, it was, okay, I have this idea. It sounds crazy because it differs a lot from what I'm doing. I was doing more museum poses, more static things. And that was big. That was a little bit more expensive. That was it had a lot of things going on, a different concept in composition, and it was a big success. It was really big success.
So that was pretty much your first dynamic piece.
That was my first dynamic piece for Sideshow, and I said, okay, from now on, I want to make all Thors, let's say, that kind of level of Thor.
That dynamic action leap off the page. I love that.
100%, but I tried to do that a couple times, and then I got bored because it is I can't every single time make the same, the same formula. It's boring, because I'm just playing safe, and I don't want to play safe because I don't know how long people will like. For example, when I did Silver Surfer, I remember people was expecting, this Silver Surfer from Daniel Bel should be, I don't know, giant, amongst peas with her surfing with a crazy, and then it comes Silver Surfer was more stoic, more statue, more museum pose, and I was very criticized for that in the community, and I remember that I say, I messed, I did something that people didn't like it. No. And the piece immediately started selling very well. People who was criticizing that piece ended up buying it because they saw it in person. They love the paint. They love the concept that you can have a Silver Surfer for not $1,000. It was I know I can remember 600. I can't remember that time how much it costs. And so from that moment, I understood that you don't have to repeat every single winning formula because it's not going to work forever. When I did the Batman, it is kind of the same formula, and it worked. People like it. And then I did Joker. Joker, it wasn't like jumping like a crazy of making something, and people like it too. So then you start feeling a little bit more confident with the choices you made, the choices you at the team made. It's like you don't have to repeat the success formula every single time because people get too used to that, and it doesn't matter how good I try to repeat again Thor. I don't think I'm going to make the same Thor again. Probably if I want to do another Thor, I would love to do a museum pose Thor, because it's different.
But you have a choice too, right? Because then it gives them like, I got this one, right? If it's repeated, I'm not gonna get a new one. Like I'll get something that's completely different, maybe, but I won't. This to me, like, how how many Thors came out after this? And I'm sitting down. I was like, no, I'm happy with the one. It could be big ones, little ones, whatever. I'm like, this is the perfect Thor for me and my collection. But it's funny you say that people will get bored if you do the same thing. I agree with that. Like, I think if you don't change it up, whether it's in poses or anything, that eventually you can get known as you just do that. And I don't know if that's a place you want to be when there's so many different type of collectors out there.
Not at all. Yeah, it's like you ended up repeating the same face every time, the same proportions every time. Every single sculpt I do, I started from scratch and I just read off all the references I have and I start looking for new ones, new body types, new type of abs, new different type of pecs, new different legs or whatever. Because if not, people say I really love that people say, oh, that is a Daniel Bel piece. Yeah. Because I want to recognize that because of the quality, not because I'm repeating the same face or the same anatomy every single time. That is not good if something like that happened. I prefer they say, oh, this looks like a Daniel Bel piece because of the composition, because of the anatomy, the attention to the details, the musculature, the pose, etc. Rather than because why? Because it's the same face, because the same muscles. I got
from you is different. Like none, like it just runs the gamut. It's the ones I mentioned earlier. But what up, Super Chat?
Yo, Daniel, how do you deal with as being a sculptor, right? Because we've seen. Not saying you, but other sculptors do something that everybody disagreed and then wasn't fond of the piece. How do you deal with the criticism? I mean, do you think as sculptor I'm not gonna say take it personal. I want to ask you, do you take it personal? Does it bother you? If somebody says, I don't like that piece that Daniel Bel did, or just as a sculptor, period. How do you take criticism?
Well, first of all, it is for an artist, not just for me. It is hard. If any artist tells you, I don't care about criticism, they are lying. Because we all care about criticism. Yeah. The different thing is how you deal with that. And now I'm 39 years old. I'm close to 40. I think I learned a couple things in thanks to the criticism of the people. At the beginning, it was when I was releasing something and people say, that's shit, that looks like weird. It really hurts because they don't know how much time I spend on that trying to make something really cool. But it doesn't matter how much time. If it is not good, it's not good. Right. But one thing I've learned from that, it is, okay, you don't like it. Please tell me why you don't like it, because it helps me understand why you don't like it. If you tell me, no, because it is green and I love a green more dark, that it doesn't help. It is. But if you tell me a good argument of why you don't like it, I can hear you. I will hear you. Actually, every single time I ask people in the next that statue, I can't redo it, but I can take that into account for the next statues I'm doing. Right. And if it is a pattern that I find, like if 10 people tell me, oh, this kind of musculature you're doing, I don't know, your bicep, it looks weird. If 1 people tell me, 2 people, it is okay, it's a matter of taste. Now, if 20 people are saying that, it's because it's weird. I have to try different.
That's what I respect about what you said, and I respect your answer, because that says a lot. That we've seen things not by you, but by other sculptors, and it's like multiple people may have said this is off, but people refuse it. Like I personally am a fan of the Dr. Doom that you did, because, and I have the Doom on Throne. I like about what you did with the Doom on Throne is like what you just said, especially when you just said it now. He looks like a dictator with the flag and everything else.
Yeah.
Some people wanted sculpted cape. To me, the way that cape looked to me, I didn't have a problem with it. You understand? And just the fact that Dr. Doom looked like you said, a dictator. To me that hits the mark on that sculpt perfectly. But just what you said, if multiple people have said something, I've seen sculptors create something. And multiple people said, this is off, scrap it. Yeah. And it's put in motion, like, let it sell. And, and as a collector, you're looking at it like, and looking at the company, like, you don't see nothing wrong with this. You know? That's why I asked that question.
So sometimes, when Sideshow released the Batman Dark Knight, it is fully sculpted. And I always had in my mind that people love fully sculpted rather than mixed media. And I remember seeing comments from certain people saying, "Oh, why the cape is sculpted?" And it was like, what? I thought you liked the sculpted capes rather than just. And then you realize that it is a matter of taste. People will like things that, for example, you like the cape from Dr. Doom, and I love it too. But some people, they prefer the sculpted capes. Okay, that's fine. But then the shipping will cost more because the cost will be bigger and heavier, and that it will impact in the final cost of the statue. If you don't have any issue, that's fine. But then we have to deal with all of that. It is okay. This project, every single time I want project fully sculpted, because I am a sculptor, so I want to sculpt every single thing. But sometimes I always, it is hard to forget that you're doing a product. For me, I'm doing a sculpture, but I don't have to forget that this is a product. We have to sell, and it has to be successful, so I can have more statues to do, right? And sometimes I have to say, okay, let's do this, and I don't know, on a flexible material, or let's do it in mixed media because the box is going to be super huge. I understand that part of the, of my work, and I don't pretend people understand that, because it doesn't matter how much effort I put on explain to people who criticize my work or the work we do in a negative way, because you can give me a constructive criticism and I will take it, and is the best. I always say the same. It is the best tool I have to keep making better, to keep doing my job different and fresh or whatever. It is your opinions, but your opinions, your constructive opinions, not your negative because you don't like it. I don't like it because I don't like it, because I don't like what you do. Okay, that's fine. I can't make it better.
Fix you.
Yeah, I can't fix that. You know.
That's
But if
me.
you tell me what things you don't like or why you don't like it, maybe I can try. You know, I will not say I will put more effort, because I put 100% of my effort every single time. And you know, it is only my family could tell you that, because they know my work. They know how passionate I am when I'm working, and all the things I do to make it the best as I can.
Shane.
But, you know,
Daniel, yeah, I got 2 quick questions for you.
sure.
First one, if you could sculpt a statue of any character that you haven't done before, who would it be, in what scale, and why?
Well, I'm too used to one to quarter scale. So, but it will be. I think a third scale is interesting. But what character it is? I don't know. I would like to repeat some Batman statues, because the Batman is a character who you can do so much with Batmans. I have so many ideas to do different Batmans. But I don't know, the villains. I love villains as well, and I really enjoyed working on Joker. So something like Joker could I don't know, could be interesting. I haven't think about it, but villains are, to me, are more interesting than superheroes, because you can play more. You can do it uglier. You know, you don't have to make it handsome, which is a pretty interesting feature for a sculptor. You can do wrinkles. You can do matte faces. You can do people with kind of weird proportions. I had so much fun on Joker because of that, and even with Bane. Bane is a huge guy, really unproportionate, with a huge back, a tiny waist, and it's unfortunately, I haven't think about it, but a villain could be interesting in 1/3 scale. Interesting composition could be I don't know, something. Yeah, I have to think about it.
No, that's awesome. And my last question is, what is your favorite statue that you've sculpted, and why?
My favorite statue, I think Thor. Thor is my favorite because of what I mentioned. Because it's very special to me. It was the first one that allows me to put more of myself in the company, and they allow me to do it. So it opened a door for me. So I feel since that moment, I remember that I feel more released, more relieved, because I'm more confident of myself, of what my capabilities. And when you feel that, and when you feel it like that, you're acting differently. With your work, with the things you do. So I think I will say that one. It is, and Thor is a great character. So I think Thor. But I don't know. Colossus is a pretty good one too. Carnage. Yeah, Carnage is awesome to me.
Dope.
I mean, it's awesome. I'm not saying that it's awesome statue. That's something you have to say.
I'm telling you, Carnage is dope. Then
Yeah, that Carnage is fire.
Thank you, man. But the Carnage was, to me, the statue I've learned the most, because I work a lot with anatomy. On my art station on social media, I posted a Sideshow, thanks to Sideshow, because they allowed me to post all the processes, all the images of the process of anatomy. And then I remember I had so much fun just to put all the striations of the mask one top of the other and see what happened. All was hand sculpted. There was challenge to me, and then playing with the tentacles to making part of the composition. It was, I think Thor and Carnage are
Those are my top
me.
two. These people, they talk to me all of the time, and they know I'm trying. I'm gonna get that Carnage soon, and they know that is my number one sideshow.
Thank
right
you, man.
there.
Appreciate it.
Art, you up?
What's up, Art?
Daniel, do you get a copy of your sculpt, the statues? Oh, nice.
There's your answer.
Okay.
Yeah, I have I have all the room with all those statues, and I'm still waiting for Carnage Doom. And as you know, I'm living in Argentina, and the thing's getting a little bit more time to get there, to come here. But yeah, I have pretty much my entire collection. Every single piece I did, I have with me, and that's wonderful. Because I'm not pretending. For me, are just pieces that it will come with me at the end. I will don't pretend to sell them. I'm not a collector, so the only things I have are my statues. And it's not because of the ego. No, it's not because of that. Because I want to have the physical copy of what I did. So I don't know. So my kids can see it. And my families, the people who. It's easier to me when someone comes to my home and I have to explain what I do. I just show the statues and they understand a little bit better what I do. Because if I have to explain that I do it in digital, then someone else, they print it and make it cost. I do that. It's it is easier to me.
That's cool.
Yeah.
All right, so I'm gonna ask one more question before we get to the chat. I know a whole bunch of people got a lot of questions out there. Now, we all know that there's a lot of stuff going on right now, and a lot of people making noises with the releases of a lot of life-size busts. Again, without releasing anything or anything like that, is there anything in the works that either you're involved in or anybody's involved in, and you guys, as a company, Sideshow, gonna get into that ring? What's happening right now? There's so many life-size busts being pretty much is making a lot of noise right now out there. Do you guys have anything that you think that you're going to be able to jump in the ring with that? Is there any other life-size busts coming? I know they was doing the comic version ones, and then it just stopped. Nothing else has come out, whether it was Marvel or DC or anything. I know they're doing the Mandalorians and stuff like that. But is there any other DC or Marvel that we can expect?
Honestly, I don't know, because it is not the things I worked on. I am pretty much on quarter scale line. I'm not related with the Star Wars license. I'm pretty much with Marvel and DC and the quarter scale line. So there are so many things going on in the company. The company is so big, and there is so many projects going on that I honestly just put focus on the things I'm related with, and the things that I know I can, I can say something about it, like I can express my ideas or whatever, and the rest are things that other people are just handling. But I unfortunately I can't help you with that, man. I'm sorry.
Okay, so let's go ahead and get into the chat. Let's start asking, get some questions asked by the guys in the community. We're going to start with Bats in the Belfry. So Daniel, would you like to work on 1/3 scale statues? If so, what character would you like to sculpt?
Yeah, 1/3 scale is interesting. I think I would like to do some more for that scale. It would be interesting to do some museum poses rather than just super complex. Because if you do, I don't know, a very dynamic pose or dynamic statue in a 3rd scale, it's going to be huge. And I don't know why I like more statues in that realm of the quarter scale, so you can have more display and not just. And I've seen a 3rd scale. And they are huge, and I don't know. I think museum poses are the ones I like the most for that scale. And again, I would like to redo characters that I did, like Thor, like I don't know, Captain America, or I don't know, Wolverine or any other, but bigger and museum. But not museum, boring museum poses, because you can have be just a guy like this, or you can have some, let's say, presence and personality in that pose. The character will face to the camera, let's say, or the angle, in a way they usually will look, and they stand in the way they will look, the stand. So I like museum poses with a little bit of more movement, not just like
That's
T pose
the
or A
key.
pose.
The
Something
movement is the
something like
key.
your Captain America.
Yeah, something like that. It's interesting, but even
Even that is
Yeah.
museum. That
Yeah.
I don't think the cap has much movement at all.
Yeah,
The
he's
cat-
moving forward. You can tell he's
Well, he's got
walking
his
forward.
foot up. And
yeah,
his hand
the
back.
captain, it has something that is called contrapposto. Contrapposto, it is the
counter to
waist
it.
to one side and your torso
Mhm.
to the other side. So
Which
you
is
are,
cool.
yeah, it is cool because it adds movement, something that it is
Yeah.
basically, it doesn't have any movement, So
Mhm.
you make movement with some rules that I didn't create, of course, that is coming from centuries ago.
So I know you didn't do the symbiote Spider-Man from Sideshow, but it's another one of my favorite speeds. I think a fellow Argentinian did that piece as well. The Sideshow premium format symbiote Spider-Man.
Guillermo Barbiero. Yeah, it's an
This guy right
Argentinian.
here.
That one is awesome. I love that one.
Yes, but like with third scale too. Like my whole thing is when it looks like they're taking pictures, but this one you can see like he's stalking, looking, like he's
Yeah,
even though he's in a pose that is still he's like overseeing something. There's something going on in his head versus him looking like he's gonna take a picture. So like, I think you can do still when the scope and the point of like the point of vision is interesting as well. So
100%. Yeah.
All right, so let's go to the next question. Next question is coming from Duck Rogers. Daniel, do you have a dream statue IP you would want to create? Would you love to see we would love to see your take on a Red Sonja.
That's a good one. I have some personal ideas that I would like to try in the future. Some personal creations. I never felt like myself as a really creative people in terms of I have ideas and I have a lot of characters in my mind that they have names and stories, but I have one in particular that I wrote a story, some lines and and actually did some sketches for myself that I say one day I will pitch this. Maybe people will like it, or maybe Sasha will be interesting on doing it. But rather than that, Red Sonja is a very interesting one, and another IPs. I don't know. I love. I would love to do something like The Boys or something like that. Like the TV show that really gore statue. Like Homelander thing. That would be interesting.
Nice.
That would be cool.
Homelander.
Yeah, I love that TV show.
Now we got Elijah Mack. You guys are going heavy on Batman line right now. Are you planning on hitting the X-Men line just as hard?
Great question, Elijah.
Great question.
That's the question that
I can't talk about future statues, but I only can say that we have in mind everything. We are thinking and presenting ideas and executing some projects in all the things you like and you love. We are going to make more of that, and in a different manner, different way, and everything is there. X-Men probably is going to be there. The classic, I don't know, Marvel and DC is going to be there. I mean, there are many things we are doing right now. Nothing in specific I can talk about it, but there are many things that I'm sure that when we release it pretty soon, you're going to be happy, or I hope you be happy with all the things we're doing. I've been working. I think I have 5 pieces I already done. We are producing. The thing is, one important thing, it is COVID at that time really slow everything down, So now we are recovering from that a little bit, and we are going to release a lot of statues probably by the end of middle part of this year. By the end of this year, it's going to be a lot of statues. So yeah,
well, that's something to look forward. That's something to look forward to.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
We got Keys' World Collections. Daniel, would you like to take on a classic Superman?
Wow, classic Superman is something that I love. I think it is the only Superman I love. The Christopher Reeve Superman. The only thing that I will be very careful, it is you have to be very sure that if you do a Christopher Reeve, you're going to nail it with the face. And I'm not 100% sure if I want to nail it, because I'm not those likeness artists with a lot of talent for likeness. I can try, I can do something very similar, but I'm not 100% sure if I can do it. Let's say, for example, that I take that challenge, I will spend months on making the best Christopher Reeves, and even that, people will say, it look like the eyes and the
yeah, of course.
Christopher Reeve,
Hair punch.
he has a really interesting features, and in every single movie looks kind of different, and you're going to find picture who is skinnier. It is he has the more musculature, and it is so hard to get the Superman that everyone's likes, but it will be awesome. I love the classic Superman, love it.
And from the Flex one, Daniel Bel collects statues or anything?
Not really, no, just the one I did. No, unfortunately not. And I think it is because I didn't I haven't started collecting when I was younger, because everything in Argentina was really expensive to get here, and our customs, it is a nightmare. Every single statue or whatever thing you buy in overseas, and it comes to Argentina, probably you will get stuck there, and it is a nightmare that probably you don't understand because you live in a good country. But it is hard. Well, yeah. At least in terms of that, it is very good. It is easier to get what you buy, but here it was very difficult from years ago, and nowadays it's still being even more difficult. So I don't want to spend money on something that I'm not going to get, or I'm going to wait for months. It's kind of frustrating. So I don't collect because of that, maybe.
Okay. And from Jesse Hernandez, Daniel, will you ever consider doing female sculpts?
Yeah. Actually, I can't say anything, but you know the answer already. I think so. Yeah, the answer is yeah.
Have you ever done one for Sideshow?
No, you have seen yet.
No.
I'm
Okay.
looking forward to the
Breaking news.
Okay.
Yeah.
And from Chris Tron, Danny Bell, what's your favorite statue from an other sculptor that's been made by another sculptor?
Okay, I love Captain Americans from Martin Canale. I love that statue. The last one, the one is running with all that effect. I don't know if the bullets. I've seen the bullets and the prototype, and I say, oh, this is when we put LEDs on it, and the painter said it doesn't have LEDs. It is just a paint. I said, nah, not kidding. And when you see it in person, it looks like it has LED lights,
Oh,
yeah.
really?
And
I was wondering what
yeah,
LEDs
like-
were now.
and it's like I can't understand how you did it, and then the entire sculpture, the movement, the classic feel of that Captain America is awesome. Then what else? Well, that Spider-Man you just showed, that one is from Guillermo, is really really good. And I love this Dragon Slayer from Steve Lore, the one, the girl with the
female,
with
the sword.
the sword in the back. I love that one. There are many pieces who I take as inspiration and a reference. That's a lot.
Okay. So late night trip. I don't know if he's tripping or he's just tripping. I don't really understand this question, but let's ask it anyway. So Daniel, now that you've had time in the statue world, are you seekers out more in the sculpting world?
Are you seekers? Could you tell me what that means?
Yeah, let's move on to the next one.
Okay. I'm sorry, man.
No,
I thought it was my
couldn't
English.
understand. I couldn't understand it either.
I thought it was me.
Even though there are so many, I love to see your take on Venom.
Oh, Venom is another character that I probably will do. One day I will do it. I will like. I know that Martin he loves to Venoms, but we are just trying to fight for characters I will love. So I did one Joker, you did another Joker. I did Carnage, you did Carnage.
It's like I just put boxing gloves on in the time.
So from Elijah Mack, I vote Daniel for new Killer Croc to top Bane.
Wow, Killer Croc. That would be cool. Yeah. I love the one we did time ago. It was from Pablo Villano. It was a classic sculpture. I can't remember what time we released that one, but it was a couple of years ago.
Okay.
That one was good.
Hey,
And from Vibranium Jim, would you like to tackle a Moon Knight? I think you would kill it.
I think so.
Yeah, I think I can't remember, but I think it was one of the first concepts I did for personal portfolio and Moon Knight, like I don't know, 10 years ago, before the TV show, before all of that. And I say one day I will sculpt a Moon Knight. So yeah, if I had the chance, I will take it 100%.
All right. And they're waiting on Daniel Bel's throne piece.
Oh,
Yeah.
what would that be like?
That would be cool. Yeah, I love throne pieces, but I think what was the latest we have released in Throne? I can't remember. It was Thanos. No,
Yeah, Thanos. If it was Sideshow itself, I think it was Thanos.
Thanos, right? That is so hard to beat. That Thanos in Throne it is perfection. It's pure perfection. That one is from William Harbottle, and it is perfect. But yeah, it would be great to do on Throne. I love those pieces too.
All right, from my boy Daniel Diaz. Daniel, do you still have statues in your cafe?
Yes, I do. Yes, I have statues in my cafe. I have a cafe in Valencia, Spain, with some friends. It is a kind of a coffee shop with it's a mixture between a little bit restaurant and coffee shop, and at the same time it's a kind of museum, so you can go there and have a drink and buy statues if you want. You can see them. They're displayed with the good lighting. We have the our artworks as well. Yeah, I have.
All right. Daniel, to my knowledge, you have basically only done male characters. What woman would you mind to do?
It's interesting. I would like to do. I personally don't like to do super sexy women. I prefer more like a warrior type, like I don't know, like Wonder Woman or any other from that type, at least at the moment. So Wonder Woman could be interesting,
Yeah, I would love to see you do a Wonder Woman.
Oh, well, thank you, man.
That'll be crazy right there.
Maybe
Definitely.
one day.
Third to the six collectibles, Mr. Bell. You're the reason why I collect statues. Thank you for everything you do.
Oh, thanks, sir. Thank you so much, man. Thank you so much. I don't know if I told you before in the last time we talked, but I remember that it was my first time in the States, and it was in San Diego Comic Con. It was my first San Diego Comic Con, and I was next to Thor at that time, to Dasachi, and then someone approaches to me, and then he grabbed me to my arm and said, "Are you Daniel Bel?" And I was a little bit scary because the guy was huge, and said, "Yeah, did you sculpt that Thor there?" And I said, "Oh my God, I don't know what to say." Yes. I said, "Okay, let me tell you something. I don't like Thor. I don't like Marvel. I don't collect anything like that. But I will buy that statue because I don't know what has that I want to buy it. And it will be my first Marvel statue ever." So I felt so good about that, And this kind of messages like this man, it makes me really happy, and I'm be so grateful for the choice I made of working on this, So thank you, man. I appreciate it.
All right, guys, we're gonna take a couple of more questions, and then we're gonna move on. So this is just a comment. I like to see Daniel Bel make a Thing statue and the rest of the Fantastic Four.
Hey Jeff, how's it going, man? That's going to be hard to make all those tiny rocks, on the body. But yeah, that is something that I haven't seen. Maybe some good statues, but I haven't seen a good one who really caught my eye. So it would be interesting to try on a thing, Yeah, 100%.
All right, from Beast 51, Daniel, I just noticed Sideshow has the Gladiator Hulk you did up for pre-order. Are they putting more of that piece out?
I've no idea. I'm just didn't know about it. I suppose they doing more, I think. No idea, man. I'm sorry.
All right, from Duck Rogers, Daniel, any interest in doing more monstrous sculpts like Clayface or Man-Bat?
Yeah. I'm not a monster guy, honestly. I don't think I'm very talented on that. I only did the monster at the base of Hulk. I enjoy that. Carnage maybe, but Carnage is more like a human thing, so it's not a pretty monster. But I would love to try on Clayface. Man-Bat could be cool too. Yeah, why not?
Okay, so let's go ahead and take our final questions from the panel, and then we'll do a couple of more things, and we'll close out for the night. Let's mix it up, and let's go ahead and start with Art.
I pretty much asked everything I needed to ask, bro. Skip me first.
So Shane, let's go to Shane. Shane is a big Marvel DC collector. Let's go to Shane.
Okay. Actually, I was going to go off script and ask Daniel another question. Are you personally a Star Wars fan?
I'm not a huge fan. I love the franchise. I love mostly the original movies. I enjoyed the other ones, but I love more that. But I'm not a huge fan. I'm not kind of those people who knows everything about the Star Wars universe. Mm-hmm. I enjoyed Mandalorian a lot. I haven't seen the second season yet, but if I do something, if I ever have the chance to work on something like that, I don't know. I will try to do something. The thing is, they have too much clothes on it, and I love anatomy. So I don't know. Maybe or armor. They have armor or clothes on it. Mm-hmm. So in terms of maybe some Mythos statues. Mythos you can build. You can go a little bit more out of script, let's say, on Mythos. So maybe in the future.
Awesome.
Yeah, man.
All right, Rashid.
I guess I could say, tell us something that we would never think about. Like, we're collectors, and when we want our statue made, we're like, where is it at? What is it in the business that we may not know about as we cry about our statues, you know?
Well, it is an interesting question, and it is a topic that I usually talk with my friends. I have a lot of collector friends, and they are huge fans. And some of my friends, they think they know everything, and because they are huge fans, they know how to do the best statues if they have the chance. And that is like, you know, it is like pretending if you are a huge fan of the movies, if they give you I don't know 20 millions, are you going to do a great movie because you're a huge fan? You know everything about that? I don't think so, you know. So but the things I always tell to people when I have the chance, it is, don't think that a statue is good, is better or worse because of the details, of the textures, you know, of because they have a lot of switchable hands or heads or torsos or whatever. I think what makes a statue good, it is if it transmits something to you or not. You know, when you see it and you like it and you don't know why you like it, that's something that is good to say, okay, I will take a couple minutes, a couple hours maybe, to observe, to take a look and see why I like that statue and what that statue has that others don't have, you know. And other is that the textures, is that the, because for example, people go crazy when they see leather texture, you know, or something like that. And for us, that is so simple to do it, you know. It is a, I don't know, I have a scan of a texture and only drop. Anyone can do that. But what something you can do, it is find the way to feel attraction to that statue without any of those things on it, you know. It is for example, Batman Beyond I did. I'm not saying it is it's the greatest piece I did, but I remember when some people saw it in person, they say it looks so simple, but I don't know what it has that I like it. You know, it has some subtle lines. It doesn't have any kind of weird armature, you know, or super sci-fi armor or whatever. It is simple. It's classic. And that is like I don't know, Flash. It is something like that too. You know, I try to not put textures on the body. It is the running pose. It is, you know, the expression on the body, the gesture on the hands. No textures on anything. Basically, a simple base. And if you like Flash, maybe you will get the concept behind it. You know, it is just, don't think that we that's something I would like to mention. I remember when I released those statues, some people come in lazy because I didn't put textures on it or didn't put too many tiny details on it. And you're not a lazy artist because of that, you know. That is on laziness. That is try to don't put a lot of things on top of the other, a lot of detail to try to impress people, because I don't know, it is a kind of cheesy way to try to impress, you know, or try to provoke something in someone. I think that's the most important thing, as you as a collector, that you have the power to say review on a statue, saying something about it. Yes, Easter eggs are cool, textures are cool and nice. But if that statue represents the character you've been reading so much about it, it connects your, I don't know, when you was a young kid, or I don't know. Sometimes I remember someone who told me that I can't remember what statue was. I think it was Logan. I think that he remembers that he wants with his father, that he's no more with him. He wants to see the first X-Men movie, and he remembered that scene when Logan was fighting in a bar, whatever. So he bought that statue because he felt a connection because of that. He didn't say anything about the textures on the boots. He didn't mention any textures of the body, whatever. He transmit that, and he connect that to emotion. And that, if you can cause that as an artist to someone, it is, your job is done, I think.
Awesome. All right, guys. Well, we come to that time of the night. This was a pretty great show. I really do appreciate you for coming through, Daniel, and showing some love to us and showing love to the community. And also got to give a big shout out and a big thank you to Anna over at Sideshow for making the interview happen and everything like that. Thank you, and also all the great things that you got going on over there. I'm also aware of some stuff that's coming. Some real great stuff. And it started. If people haven't really noticed, it's already started. It's already begun. With the pieces that's been released, like within the year, that's been creeping up on everybody. So there's a lot of good things, and there's a lot of good things also because you guys are delivering some great statues, some great looking statues at affordable pieces. Knowing that what's going on right now with the shipping and everybody's getting impacted with it, even Sideshow has been getting impacted with shipping fees and shipping rates and stuff like that for certain statues. More the bigger ones and the heavier ones than anything else. Because I've seen the differences with the shipping. Some shipping is really low, and some shipping is really high. But that's going on everywhere with everybody. But there's some great things going on, and right now it's happening at a good time because people don't have that large bank account right now, and the income and all kind of stuff like that to be able to be spending $1,200, $1,500, $1,700 for a quarter scale statue. So it's great when a company that has affordable statues are delivering great looking statues. It's even at $600, $700, it's hard to make somebody pull a trigger on a statue, even if it's that affordable, if it doesn't represent what it should be. Meaning, the look, the detail, the paint, everything, the pose, everything like that comes together, and it's very important, especially when making a decision of a character that you love, and would you want to spend that amount of money to bring that character home. So kudos to Sideshow for what they've been doing, and I know that they got some great stuff in the works, a lot of great things in the mix. And I'm looking forward to seeing it, and looking forward to seeing everybody's reactions, because I think that the reactions are going to be very good. And also, Anna, everybody out there in the Sideshow, please continue to keep the low ESs. Please continue to keep the low ESs, because that works and it sells out very fast. I don't know who said that, but that's what it is. But I just would like to thank you, Danny, man, for coming through, man. I really do appreciate you. Tell everybody out there in Argentina world, we all love
Thank
them.
you, man.
We support you, and just keep bringing those bangers, man. As long as you keep on bringing those great statues, those great sculpts, and everything of that nature is awesome. Hopefully, we'll get Canali in here next. But we want to bring the great guys, the great ones here, to be able to share with the community. It's not often when you get people in the caliber of some sculptors and stuff like that would come onto a show and share their thoughts and share their opinions and stuff like that to the community and everybody that actually supports them. So thank you so much for coming through. Thank you, all you guys, everybody that's out there that joined us tonight and hung out with us tonight, man. We really do appreciate y'all. You know the way we feel about the MCC squad. We love you guys. Please, guys, don't forget to go and visit my brother, Art Statue Collector. Go check out the channel. The channel is crazy. Great reviews. Go and show some love. Subscribe to the channel. Go visit my boy Shane over there at the Enablers. You know what I'm saying? And just keep the support, man. Keep it going. And don't forget about my boy Fatal the Collector. And with that being said, thank you everybody for coming through. Y'all know what it is. Y'all know how it goes. Let's go.